So in this video, I'm going to be walking through a simple make.com automation in order for you to incorporate AI into your email so that you can automatically respond to any sort of questions or queries about information that you've already documented somewhere on the internet in some Google Doc or anything like that. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so we're inside of make.com. First thing we're going to do is create a new scenario. Now, for this particular scenario, we're going to go down to email and click on that. And the very first step in any scenario is a trigger. This is basically the event that lets make.com know to start the scenario. So in this case, the event is watching emails. So when a new email is received, we're going to start this particular scenario. As far as folders, we're going to go to inbox, criteria. We're going to choose only unread emails because we're only interested in new emails. You could further filter down if you were only looking for emails from a particular address or a particular recipient. But we're not going to do any of that. We don't want to narrow down based on subject or phrase. And we don't necessarily want to mark the message as read because we're only going to be responding to it if it meets a certain criteria. So this is basically all we need for this module. And we're going to hit OK. You can also choose when you want to start this scenario. So if you already had unread emails and you just wanted to test one of those out, you would just select the first email. Or if you just wanted to go through every unread email in your inbox, you could select all emails. I'm going to select from now on. So this scenario will only pick up the new emails that are sent after the time of me making this module. The next step is where we're going to be getting our database, basically our criteria to check if we want to let AI answer this particular email. So I searched doc in the modules to find Google Docs. And what we're going to be doing is we're getting content from a document. So it's right here. Get content out of a document. So when I was initially recording this video, I forgot that it was a beginner tutorial. So if you don't have a Google connection set up, you're going to click on this add button and it's going to pop up this screen. You can name your connection whatever you want to name it, but you're going to go ahead and sign into the Google Doc where you're going to house the database file with the information that you want ChatGPT to use in order to answer your emails. So this is where we're going to get our information that we're responding to these emails from. In my particular case, this example is going to be for my little side business, which is basically throne chair rentals. So this Google document has information on most of the main questions that I get as far as emails about deliveries and rentals and things like that. So I went ahead and typed it out. And this is basically our database that we're going to pull from in order to see if the email can be answered easily. So in order to connect this Google document, we need the ID. So that's kind of a problem. You guys can't see that. Let me see if, okay. So when you click on the URL, you're going to get this docs.google document /D and then another backslash, and this is where the ID starts. And that ID is going to end before this backslash in front of the edit. So we're just going to go ahead and copy that. And then we're going to go back to make.com and input this document ID. All right. So now we are getting emails and we're getting the knowledge from this document. Now we're ready to go ahead and incorporate AI. So I just search CH and we're going to see this OpenAI module pop up. We want to create a completion, or my bad. Yeah, we want to create a completion. Once again, if you don't have OpenAI set up, you don't have it connected to make.com, then what you're going to do is you're going to make an account with the OpenAI API. I believe after you complete, it'll take you to this screen. So if you go to the side panel, you'll see the screen that says API keys. You'll click on that. You'll click create new secret key. You'll go ahead and take that key, paste it into API key. And then if you go to settings, you should see your organization ID, and you'll also copy that and go ahead and paste it right into this box. And then you'll be all set up to use the OpenAI API and use these ChatGPT completions. It does charge you. You will be charged, and you will need to have a credit card on file, but it's like a % of a cent for each request. So we're going to click that. GPT-4o is the newest module, but for the purposes of this video, GPT 3.5 Turbo will work just fine. 4o is trained on more data. It has more up-to-date data, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just checking it against this little database that I've already set up. So the 3.5 will work just fine. So I already have a prompt that I went ahead and typed up. The prompt is very important. This is the instructions that you're giving to ChatGPT, and the quality of your instructions determines the quality of your results. As far as prompting ChatGPT, you'll have a system, and the system basically just instructs ChatGPT on what role it's filling and what it's supposed to be doing. So right here, I said you run customer support for a throne chair rental company. You'll be given an email containing a question and the company database information. Your job is to read the email and determine whether the question being asked is answered in the company database. If it is, reply with yes. If not, reply with no. Only reply yes or no. It is vital to the success of the company that you are absolutely sure that the answer is in the database. It is also vital that you respond with a single word, yes or no. So what I'm doing here is basically using ChatGPT in order to gauge whether the question in the email is actually answerable based on the information in this little database that I have inside the Google Docs. And if it is, it's just going to return yes. If not, it's going to return no. Now, I use this language like it is vital to the success of the company because this is proven to get better results from ChatGPT. ChatGPT obviously doesn't have emotions. It doesn't care what's vital or not, but it's trained on data, which is data from humans. And if humans are told something like this is vital to the success of the company, this will get better results out of them. So it's trained on documents from humans. So when you include this type of language in your query or in your prompt, you're going to get better results out of ChatGPT or any large language model. So that is the system message. As far as the actual user message, the user message is basically the query. The system was kind of like the instruction, so just letting ChatGPT know how to perform. So as far as the actual user, which would be if you were to just go and open ChatGPT and type in a question, that's basically what the user means. That's you're filling the user role in that scenario. So we're gonna say, here is the question, and we're going to drag in this. Now, if you're not sure what this is basically all the little data and metadata in the previous modules. So all these red terms are from the email. This is all the data and metadata that came with the email. This is where we're getting the actual subject of the email. Not the subject, the actual email itself, which is text content. So we go ahead and put that there. And then we're going to say, here is the database information. And this blue, these words in blue are from the document, the Google document that I just showed. And we're also going to get the text content from that. And then we're going to ask ChatGPT, is the answer to the question in the database information? And we should get a yes or no. Now, inside of the ChatGPT module, there will always be a specification to ask for the max tokens. So this is basically just however many tokens, the more tokens you have, the longer the result, or the longer the answer you can get from ChatGPT, the more information it could back in. But we just want a yes or no. So we definitely don't even need 100, but I'll just leave it at 100. So from there, we're going to get an answer whether it's answerable or not. And if it is answerable, then we'll be going on to the next step, which is creating the response. So we'll need another ChatGPT completion, but this is a crucial step. We're going to be setting up a filter. And this filter is going to be whether it's answerable or not. So the result is basically what ChatGPT is going to respond with. And we're just going to say if it contains the lowercase yes, or it contains uppercase yes, then we want to go on to the next step, which is going ahead and answering this question. So once again, ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo will work just fine. And once again, I already have another prompt designed. So I'll just go ahead and copy that in. Once again, prompt is very important. So you want to take some time to make sure that you're harping on everything. It's like, so for example, in this one, I don't want ChatGPT to respond with dear or something too formal. So I told them to greet them with a hi or hey and their first name. Also told them to not include a footer. But when I was testing it before, it was still including the footer. So it could require a better prompt, or it just might not be optimal, or this particular model might not be optimal. So, but this is basically an overview of the message. You are a customer service representative for a throw and share rental company. You'll be given an email containing a question and a company database. Your job is to answer with the information from the company database, something along those lines. Once again, this is going to be a short response, so it really shouldn't take too many tokens to create. So that is basically the system. As far as the actual message, we're going to once again go to user, And then we're going to give them the data to work with. So we're going to say, here is the message. Once again, we go to email. Go ahead and put the semicolon. Text.content. Here is the database. And here, text.content. We'll say the database information. And then we'll give the, okay, let's see. My mic got disconnected, so hopefully everything is going fine, but I won't know until I stop this recording. But I'm just going to go ahead. So we're going to say, here is your name, and because having it reply on my behalf, and then we're going to say, here is the sender's name. And we can also get that from the data from the email. So just drag sender's name. Let's see. And then we'll go ahead and give it the final instructions. Respond to the email using the database information. And one more important thing, this last sentence that I put here, remember that you are talking directly to the email sender. This is important because if you've ever used ChatGPT before, you know that if you ask it to craft a message, it might say, here is the message I came up with. But we're sending this answer directly to the person who sent the email. So we don't want the, here's this message I created, so that it just should be a direct message to the sender replying. So lastly, we're going to go ahead and send an email. So once again, we're going back to the email module. This time we're clicking send an email. Subject, let's see. We'll go ahead and say regarding your question about, and once again, we can go back to the data from this first email and we can get their subject out. And then for the content, we're getting the data from this ChatGPT response. I need to make sure that we have the right one because we have two modules. So, okay, so this is 3, this is 4. So we want to reply with the result from 4. So this one is 4. Gonna go ahead and drag that result down. Looks like I lost the information. Let's see. Regarding your question about subject. All right. And okay, definitely need a recipient. So once again, this comes from the data from the first email. So we have the email address, we have the subject regarding your question about subject, and then we have the ChatGPT created response. Okay, and then lastly, we want to go ahead and mark the initial email as read because we just responded to it. So uh, we see this first one. Well, now there's two email modules. So it's important that we choose the first one and get the email ID, and we drag that there. And we're going to go ahead and, okay, well, we have to select the folder. All right, so we select the folder and we're going to go ahead and mark that email as read. So when we check our email inbox, we know that we replied to it. If for some reason ChatGPT determined that we didn't have the answer in our database, then it would stop running at this filter and we wouldn't mark that as read. So then it would let me, well, I'm saying us, but it would let me know that I needed to respond to that particular email. So now we have the entire flow set up. The only thing left to do now is to go ahead and test it. So let's go ahead and go to Gmail. Okay, so right now we're inside of a little burner account that I have. I'm going to go ahead and ask a question. We're gonna say price. Say, how much does it cost to rent a throne chair? And boom, we're going to send it. So if we go back to make.com, we now have a new email. So when I click run once, it's going to fetch that email. Then it's going to go ahead up. I just completed. So it didn't go as expected. It checked and didn't see a new email. But we clearly sent a new email, so let's try it again. Okay, so this time it registered that a new email had been sent. I guess I just tried it too soon last time before it could fully register. But this time it registered. It went ahead, got the information from the Google document, generated a response. That response was a yes because we moved on to the next step. It generated a message and it sent an email. So let's see what it came up with. All right, so we see, hi XJ, the cost to rent a throne chair is $199 for up to 7 hours of rental time. Feel free to reach out if you'd like to reserve a chair for your event. Best regards, Xavier. So as we can see, it is working perfectly. It pulled that information from here where we have the information for basically price of $199 for a period ranging from 0 to 7 hours. It pulled that information and it responded to this email all by itself. So if you've tested this scenario and you're satisfied with the way it's working and you want to turn it on, all you have to do is click this little button over here so that it says on. And right now it's set to run every 15 minutes. So this basically means every 15 minutes it's going to check your email inbox for new emails. And if there are new emails in there, then it's going to run. Also, if you have multiple emails coming in or you expect multiple emails coming in the time period you choose, I would suggest clicking on email, going down here to maximum results and possibly pushing this up to 10 or however many emails you feel might come in that specific time period. You can also change it. You can do every 15 minutes, every day, just once, specific days. It's completely up to you. But that's basically how you activate the scenario. So that is how you automate your email. Basically, you need to watch for new emails, have a database of some sort with all the information to respond to emails that don't require you to respond directly. Integrate ChatGPT, have it determine if the email can be answered. If it can, have it answered, and then go ahead and mark the email as read so that you know that it's been answered. So that's it for this video. If you want custom make solutions implemented for your business itself, then be sure to reach out to me. There should be a Calendly link in the description, and subscribe for similar content.